Welcome to the Manders Mindset podcast. Here you'll find both monologue and interviews of entrepreneurs, coaches, healers, and a variety of other people, where your host Amanda Russo will discuss her own mindset and perspective and her guest mindset and perspective on the world around us. Manders and her guests will help explain to you how shifting your mindset will shift your life.
Welcome back to Manders Mindset. I'm your host, Amanda Russo, and today's solo episode is a vulnerable one for me, but it's something I feel ready to talk about. Finally, fully in my own words. And honestly, guys, I'm going to be fully transparent. This is something I never anticipated that I would share publicly. But something I was told when I got certified in breathwork was you are only as free as your deepest, darkest secret. I'm going to say that again. You are only as free as your deepest, darkest secret. Because whatever you are holding on to, whatever secret, whatever shame, it is causing you to be less free, mentally, physically, and emotionally, by withholding it. So here we go. 5 years ago, I got a DUI, and I never thought I'd say that publicly. I was so ashamed. I judged myself so much. And honestly, I thought silence and hiding this would protect me. But here's the thing. Silence doesn't protect you. It isolates you. It creates this secret identity that no one sees, but you carry in your mindset all the time. And what I've come to realize is you truly are only as free as your deepest, darkest secret. If you are not willing to share it with people, or you are so ashamed of it, you are not free because of it. I first opened up about my DUI last year on the Let's Relieve Regret podcast. And shout out to Shadow and Victoria for creating such a safe and comfortable space that I felt comfortable enough to publicly share something I had never shared publicly. So if you've never heard the Let's Relieve Regret podcast, I highly encourage you to check it out. This is not an ad, but I will link the episode that I recorded on there last year. It gave me a space to share this publicly. And that felt so scary. So scary. But it also felt like a release. I felt like I lost more weight. And guys, I didn't lose any more weight. But I felt skinnier. I felt lighter. And I was like, whoa. Leading up to it, I had nerves about it. If you followed me on Instagram, you likely saw my vague post a year ago talking about life is tough, but so are you. And I never shared specifically how or why life was tough. By going on the podcast, Let's Relieve Regret, it gave me a space to share something I was feeling a lot of shame around. It gave me a place to release that. It felt like a weight was lifted off my shoulders. Like I was letting go of an identity I did not need to hold on to anymore. That version of me, she made a mistake. And she grew from it. And I love her. Because Had that mistake not had happened, who knows where I would be today. She was hurting. In her heart, soul, and mindset, she was hurting. But I have so much love for that woman. Guys, if you're carrying something you've never told anyone, I want to remind you that you are not what you did. You are who you became after. And your truth doesn't have to be tied to your shame. It can be tied to your growth. You don't have to identify with a mistake that you made. It does not define you. Everyone makes mistakes every day. I hope this frees someone listening to it. I hope this reminds you that letting go of secrets is actually how we come back home to ourselves. There is so much power in telling your story, even the messy chapters, especially the messy chapters. I also want to give a shout out to a former guest, Christina, who shared about her poetry. And I asked her a question, and I reflect back on this very often. But I asked her a question, honestly, because I was personally curious. What made her feel comfortable enough to be vulnerable enough to share the messy details about her story? And you know what she told me? Because the story and the situation happened to her, but it's not about her. Just because she is the individual this situation happened to, it's not about her. And your messy story, your messy mistake is not about you. It's about you sharing your story and your journey to help someone else along their journey. That's how we grow. That's how we shift each other's mindsets. There is power and there is growth in sharing your messy stories and sharing the things that you are not proud of. We all have something that we are ashamed of. Maybe you've let it go, but we all have had, at some point in our lives, something that we are ashamed of. We all have a story that we don't share out loud. Or another word is phrased, we all have a chapter of our story that we don't read aloud. I hope this episode gives you permission, gives you comfortability to share that messy story, to read out the chapter that you don't want anyone else to read aloud. I am sending you love and I'm rooting for you. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to this raw, vulnerable episode that I never planned on sharing on Manders Mindset. And I hope this gives you a little more sense of freedom and a little more courage to share those messy chapters. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Manders Mindset. If you enjoyed the episode, I'd really appreciate it if you left me a rating, left a review, and shared this episode with anyone you think needs more permission to let go of that story they are ashamed about. Thanks, guys. Until next time. In case no one told you today, I'm proud of you. I'm rooting for you. And you got this. As always, if you enjoyed the show, I would really appreciate it if you would leave me a 5-star rating, leave a review, and share it with anyone you think would benefit from this. And don't forget, you are only one mindset shift away from shifting your life. Thanks, guys. Until next time.